Hi guys, here's a video on how to go from 0 to completion on your Mandala line work, okay? So the materials you're going to need is a regular sheet of printer paper, one sheet of watercolor paper. Make sure you have the front side up, okay? The front side is the smoother side. You need a pencil and a roll of tape. Ideally masking tape like this. Scotch tape works fine too, so long as you, before you apply it on the paper, apply it on your clothing a few times to weaken the adhesive. Okay, so grab these materials for yourself: printer paper, pencil, tape, watercolor paper. Pause the video if you need. Otherwise, let's get moving. First, get your printer paper. All right, from this orientation in landscape orientation, grab the top left corner, bend it over to the bottom, and you want to align these two edges, okay, so that they're right on top of each other. And with your pinky over here, make sure that the fold coming down on the far left makes a very, very sharp point. Once you confirm that, slide your hand over and make the bend into a fold, okay? Step one over here, we're making this triangular fold. Step two, flip your paper over, have it in this orientation, pull this excess paper down like this, and then now you're making a fold such that the fold aligns with this back edge, okay, as closely and as cleanly as you can. That second fold, you're going to take your thumbnail, putting pressure up against your index, and you're going to run your thumbnail along that fold 4 to 5 times on each side, starting from the middle of the paper like this. When you unfold it, you should be able to feel a distinct bump with your finger along that fold. Now this is ready to tear. You can also use a pair of scissors, but if you don't have scissors, this is an easy way to tear your paper in a straight line. Go slowly, segment by segment, using your palms to spread that paper apart a little bit at a time. And now you have a nice square made out of your 11 by 8.5 by 11. Next step, you're going to fold this paper in half, okay? Make sure these two edges align right on top of each other. And you want to sharpen this fold too. We're not going to tear it, but we just want that fold to be very, very noticeable. Unfold your paper, and you want to fold it in half in the other direction to make a cross. Make sure the top edges are aligned right on top of each other, and then sharpen this fold as well. Now when you unfold this, you should be able to feel with your fingers very easily where you ran your fingernails across those folds. For this quick version, we're only going to be working with 2 axes of symmetry, okay? Next step is to draw your actual mandala lines, all right? For our purposes, I want you to follow as closely as you can to what I'm drawing. Normally, I wouldn't prescribe something to you, but this is for those of you who need to move quickly with this. So let's see. Let's go with a floral pattern, all right? First, start with a C-shaped line that starts from about 1 inch up from the center point, okay? And it touches this axis, this horizontal axis over here. Turn the paper a bit. At about the middle of that C-shaped line, let's draw another. And then let's continue that pattern. When you get to about this place, let's finish it off with a large C shape. Looking something like that. I'm going to clean up the curvature a bit. Okay, that's all we're going to do for the design, right? The next step is going to be for you to fold this paper so that these lines are laying right on top of the right side, okay? If you look closely, you're going to be able to faintly see the lines from the back side of the paper. What I want you to do is hold a pencil like this with your index finger on close to the tip of the pencil so you can apply a lot of pressure. Use the side of your lead to shade over where you see those lines showing through the back of the paper. Apply firm pressure along the back side of each of those lines. And what that's going to do is transfer the line work onto the blank side of this stamp. Okay. When you unfold it, you should see the same lines mirrored over this axis of symmetry. It's faint though, it's gray, so you want to take your pencil and darken these in. Okay, once you darken those in, we need to fill in this empty half over here. Fold your paper over like so, along the axis that's right along that empty half, okay? We're going to use that same transferring technique. Start with the side with the shading already on it, and you're going to go over the same dark areas once more. Since we only had a few lines, this shouldn't take too long. That should do it for that side. We want to also do the same over here. Again, you want to be applying firm pressure so that the graphite transfers over onto the other side of the stamp. All right, let's look at what it looks like. Bam, there we go. Let's darken in these lines. Okay, now that these are darkened in on the stamp, now we are ready to use this to transfer all of the lines onto our actual watercolor paper. So grab your watercolor paper, make sure the front side is up, the smoother side. You want to take your stamp and you want to lay it face down and then move it around so that it's towards one side, okay, in my case the left side of the watercolor paper, and look at the borders, okay? Your stamp should be slightly smaller than the watercolor paper, so you want to make sure that the borders you have on the top, left, and bottom are all evenly spaced. Once you position that, you want to take 3 pieces of tape and secure this in place. Again, if you're using Scotch tape, that's okay too. You just want to make sure to put it on your clothes like so a couple times before applying it on your paper, or else the adhesive will be too strong and when you try to remove it, it will tear. So 3 out of these 4 corners should give us a good amount of hold. And then now it's time to transfer these lines. I'm going to sharpen my pencil. I'm going to use the same approach I did last time and go over the dark portions first. Okay, so that quadrant is done. I'm going to move on to this quarter right here. To do this without the tape is incredibly difficult. If you'll notice how much the paper wants to move around. Okay. All right, now for the blank half. I can still see the lines faintly from the back of the paper. So I'm following along with those with the side of my lead, shading in the back side. All right, I'm done with the transferring. Carefully remove the tape. Okay, and lift your stamp away from your watercolor paper, and you should see the line work transferred over. The last thing you need to do is darken in these lines. This is where you want to darken it in with very careful, intentional lines. After all, these are the final lines that you're going to be painting in. So take your time. Okay. Make good quality curves. Take it one curve at a time. And if you notice, I'm rotating the paper every time I'm drawing a new C curve. And that I'm doing so I can work with the natural angle that's created by my wrist. Okay. Make sure my pencil's sharp for this. Last 4 curves. And there you have it. Darkened in all those lines. This is your final line work for your mandala that's ready to receive some watercolors. Okay? So take a picture of this once you're done with it like so, and submit it onto Schoology under worksheet 13. And that's it. There's a separate video that I will direct you to in class about how to crop out the excess paper over here. You want to make sure to save that piece of paper because that's used in worksheet 12. All right, guys. Good luck. I'll see ya.